I guess my first question, Joanne, why Dartmouth North and why politics?
Well, the politics question, I was 8 years old when I first did my political action, and I wrote Pierre Elliott Trudeau a protest letter against the seal hunt, and he wrote me back, and I was hooked. So I was always involved with politics within the school system. I was head of student council, and then when I decided to do academic studies, I did my bachelor's in political science and then my master's in political science. So I guess you would just call me a political geek. Dartmouth North, I have lived in Dartmouth North many times over my life. My parents' family grew up, both sides of the family grew up in Dartmouth North, and I work in Dartmouth North. So I live and work in Dartmouth North, and I felt that they needed a strong representation that was focused on the issues at hand, and I thought that my skills and expertise and lived experiences would benefit the folks of the community.
Okay. And in specific, what expertise, what experience do you have going into this role?
Well, I was a single mom for 9 years on social assistance, and so I have faced many of the challenges that some of the people in this community have faced. I am the executive director of Alice Housing, and I do casework every day. And my focus has always been on social justice issues for particularly women and children. Working in the field of violence against women, I've developed the Marguerite Centre, which is the only treatment facility for women in Nova Scotia. I developed the only counseling program for children who have witnessed violence. So I believe that I have a very firm grasp on government relations and how it relates to community.
Okay. The past 6 or 7 years has been nothing but, I guess we'll say, turmoil for the north end of Dartmouth in regards to political representation. How do you plan to overcome that, and how do you plan to tackle that if you become elected?
You know, I've been a candidate now for almost 20 months, and even before the writ was dropped, I had knocked on 4,000 doors, and I heard that. I heard it loud and clear, and I was a constituent as well, watching what was going on in Dartmouth North in terms of representation. I can only say that I'm the type of person that I do what I say, and I mean what I say, and I feel that there needs to be a more focused, concerted, full-time representative here that can bring integrity back to the system, because a lot of people are jaded, and quite frankly, I don't blame them.
Okay. I mean, today's age, there's a lot of negativity towards politicians in general. I mean, this whole 3-4 years in power of the opposition, not with the opposition, but with all parties.
Yes.
Mishandling of funds, doing things that they shouldn't have, and they're doing this all on the taxpayer's dime.
Yeah.
How does you or your party plan to separate yourself from that?
Well, I wouldn't put my name on a ballot unless I felt that I could make a difference somehow. And I wouldn't put my name on a ballot behind a leader that I didn't believe in. And I believe in Stephen. I think he's a man of integrity. I think he's a man of honesty. And I am very proud to have my name stand next to his. Stephen was the first leader to post all of his expenses online. And he expects that of the people that he works with. And it's been a very difficult transition for me, because even though I'm not elected, people, once you start knocking on doors and your name's on a ballot, they think of you as a politician. And I've had such a wonderful reputation in the community, and then all of a sudden to be associated with maybe people who, do something wrong or dishonest in any way has been really difficult for me, because that's just not who I am.
What are the next steps?
The next steps, well, we've got 72 hours to get through. We're doing final pushes in preparation for Election Day. I have no regrets. I think my team, myself, my family have done an extraordinary job. I have talked to as many people as I can, and I'm proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the community for the response. Next steps is Election Day. whatever that may be, whatever the result may be Wednesday, I will either be the MLA for this wonderful community, or I will go back to my position as an executive director of Alice Housing and still contribute to this wonderful community. So for me, either way, it's a win-win.
Fantastic. What do you have to say to voters? I mean, there is 3 days left. I'll be posting this in time for voters to have a chance to hear what you have to say. What do you have to say to them?
Dartmouth North is very lucky that there are 3 very capable people running for MLA. And we have 3 very different visions, 3 very different lived experiences, and 3 very different ways of working in the community. And my hope for people is that they will look at their vote as a level playing field, because when I was on income assistance, that's how I saw my right to vote, was leveling the playing field, and that my vote was just as important as the guy 2 blocks away living in the $500,000 house. And so just get out and vote. It's a right, it's a privilege, and it's important.
Now listen, hearing you say great things about the other opponents that are in this election, but then I watch CBC and I watch CTV and I see these debates, and I see the leaders of our political parties attacking each other. Why aren't you doing that?
It's not my style, and politics in this country is set up to be adversarial. And I'll stand on my own record. I'll stand on the record of the caucus that was there when government was dissolved, and I'll stand on the platform. And I don't need to disparage Mr. Brownlow or Mr. Esty, both who are wonderful people and both who have done amazing things for the community. It's not how I roll.
Joanne, thank you.
Thanks, Brandon. Those are great questions.
I think Joanne has a great capacity for understanding the issues, and I think she has a super support for people who are in need or don't have as many benefits as many of us do.
Okay.
So I think Joanne will take their concerns to the legislature and do a very good job speaking for them.
And you're talking on the phones right now. Are voters voicing any concerns in regards to what they feel is important for Election Day?
No, generally on the phone we're getting support for Joanne. Good. People who have met her at the door and are very pleased to have met her at the door. Some are people who are Liberals and like to vote Liberal, and they feel she's a good candidate.
How do you feel when possible people in your constituents in your community are feeling this way?
I feel sad because I know that my abilities have in no way, shape, or form have anything to do with who I'm married to.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for people who live their lives judging and being hateful and hurtful. But it's, I put that behind me. I've raised a good child who's non-judgmental, and that's my contribution, is raising a human being that wouldn't do that.